So we are live. Good
Absolutely.
evening, everybody.
Good evening and welcome to your channel MBA Wallah in English medium. We have Vikrant Sir and Surana Sir with us. So Vikrant Sir, over to you.
Oh, from being alive to live on a channel, that's quite a journey at times. So I think you already know what the session says, right? Ask us anything. The whole purpose of bringing this session is that you are preparing for the CAT exam. It is something which is completely new for you. You may have some questions, some concerns, and won't it be lovely if we can ask those things, get the clarity on our preparation plan, and then begin from there straight away. So we'd really monitor your chat all the time. So make sure that you are telling us about your concerns, and not just that, do tell us which city you belong to, which college you are in, which stream you are from, and all of those things will also throw up some interesting pointers that we can then take up and link them with the eligibility criteria and how at least the academic part can go ahead and relate with your preparation. So I
I guess
think
sir,
that's
we can
just
also tell them to write down the language in which they are comfortable. Although this is an English medium channel, but we want to see that we have Surana Sir who can cover the southern
he
movies,
can speak in Tamil. So yeah,
and I and
I,
Vikrant Sir can help you in the Punjabi as well.
Punjabi too. Absolutely yes.
All right, so we
We,
have the
we.
complete panel, one from Quant, one from LRDI, one from Verbal. So if you have any subject queries as well, you can let us know in the chat. All right, so as you've already known that this is our secondary channel. There was MBA Wallah in Hindi, but we thought that, okay, some people will be more comfortable in English. So that's why we have this. Now, MBA Wallah in English is definitely live. Very soon we'll be coming with the academic sessions also.
Yep.
Surana Sir has already taken one orientation session, I guess, all right,
Yep.
where the sessions will keep coming related to the conceptual knowledge, or make it basically we'll be focusing on building the basics. So I guess we will walk through that as well. So I'll be taking care of the algebra, right, the equations, the building blocks. Vikrant Sir, what about in the verbal?
So see, the largest area that we have in the CAT exam across all sections is reading comprehension, right? Almost 1/4 of the paper. And if you go on to perform well in RCs, that can boost your score significantly. Besides, the impact of RCs does not really remain limited to the verbal section. See, even when you talk about LR, you need to interpret the questions correctly. Quant, the first step is interpreting the questions. So it is indirectly going to be useful for those areas as well. And on the face of it, if you look at it, RC appears so simple, unseen passages. We've been doing them all our lives. So what can be different now? So the truth is, it is, yes, these are unseen passages, but it is an evolved, advanced version of unseen passages. So there are some very specific strategies that you need to bring into picture when you attempt the passage. Then you need to be aware of all the different question types. You need to know about the kind of areas that get tested more frequently, and how you can go ahead and become comfortable, familiar with those areas. So in this particular series that we have, the concept building series, we will take care of each one of these aspects. And above all, you and I will sit down together and practice passages, where at the end of the series I'll connect you to the actual CAT passages, and we'll see how far we have come over the course of our journey in this particular batch. So that's what my intention is. We seem to have a question. सर आगे के पढ़ो तो पीछे का भूल जाते हैं. Okay, now I know that the question is in Hindi. We normally answer it in the language in which it is asked, but on this channel we are biased towards English. So what you're talking about is something that does make sense. It has happened to all of us, isn't it, Surana Sir?
Well,
Has it
Yeah.
specifically, I
happened
guess
to you?
that
When you read
doubt
the
is for
front, you
Quant, sir,
forget the
I guess.
back.
I guess
When you,
specifically that question
I
has
think
been asked related to the quant section, right? A lot of formulas, maybe.
yeah.
for vocabulary too. I think the only area in
Ah,
life that I've seen is that, I mean, when you, it's only when it comes to your love interests that you tend not to forget the people that you've gone by. In every other area, particularly in academics, I think it's very normal that you do need to look back at what you've covered. So yeah, revision. That's why we have this concept called revision. No? But otherwise, Rahul sir, what's your strategy of dealing with this in quant?
See, basically, sir, what I do is after every class, let us say we start with algebra or equations. Once we move to the second chapter, let us say exponents, I start giving them the homework of equations and I
Oh,
give them
fabulous.
good questions. So what happens is
Mhm.
when they are dealing with the chapter 2 and 3, they're getting the homework from chapter 1. And
Oh,
now
wow.
that question is also hard. So to figure that out, you have to go back to the chapter 1. So that is, how they go back and revise. So if they're not
Mhm.
willing to revise, they have to because they want to solve a question of the concept which I have already covered. So that is my plan. Generally, I go with that. In the classes, we
This,
used to say
hmm,
panne palto, but now I'll say go back to the previous pages.
this can never happen with a section like logical reasoning because you are hardly remembering anything there. All you're
Absolutely.
doing is learning the skill of tackling a question, how you can attempt, how you can read and understand the concepts, how you can, I mean, the clues and conditions. Basically, logical reasoning and data interpretation is a good mix of verbal and quant. So if someone comes and tells me I didn't understand this part, I either point it out to Rahul Sir or Vikrant Sir, saying that it's no longer my responsibility. But yeah, the best answer for this would be keep practicing. The more you are surrounded by that particular concept and longer you are surrounded by that concept, the chances of you forgetting becomes close to zero. So the more you are around it, that's how you will get comfortable with it.
And I guess these are the things which you feel initially, right? After 1 month or 2 months down the line of preparation, you have taken a lot of concepts and you are doing, a lot of weekend tests, which we generally provide weekly tests. So yes, everything gets revised automatically. Maybe you can just add a few DPP questions at the end of a week. Let us say you are down to DPP number 5. There must be some questions from DPP 1 to 4 where you have struggled or maybe you got wrong in the first attempt. So what you can do is go back to those wrong questions, try them again, and that is the checklist, right? You get to know that okay, the things are covered. And sometimes it just happens that it is our mind, our subconscious mind thinks that we have forgotten. But
Yeah.
basically, as soon as when we see those formulas back again, it automatically comes to our mind. So I'll say just relax and start preparing. These things, of course, happen, but right now I guess we are not moving too much ahead. This is just going to be the beginning, so there is no point that something has already been done. तो पीछे का कुछ है ही नहीं. The language which I see right now, आगे का पढ़ो तो पीछे का भूल जाते हैं. पीछे का कुछ है ही नहीं. You have to start right now, right?
Absolutely. So, in fact, this same problem, I think the area where people face this challenge at its pro max level is vocabulary. So very often people would come and tell us that, hey, I learned this word, but now I have absolutely zero idea what it stands for. So typically the core of the strategy is revision and association. And if you're regular with these, and that can happen through DPPs, through weekly tests, through section tests, and eventually mock tests, things will fall in place. Don't worry. How is soil Gurgaon? Every college is good. Whether it is good for you or not is a different question. So that depends on your background. And somebody saying quant is so hard for me. I feel you. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Okay. Last year I thought that I'll also start studying quant, but yeah, so hard for me too.
I guess see the idea is if the quant is something which is not your cup of tea, you have to start from the basics, right? Don't be in a hurry. What happens is when somebody is not good in mathematics, right, or had a poor maths, or maybe an average maths in the early school days, it is difficult for you in the beginning. Now I'll tell you that there are 4 or 5 important chapters that I would say, percentage, ratio, solving equations, right? I'm not talking about linear equations in details or maybe quadratic equation graphs, maximum, minimum optimization. No, just solving equations. So you have to be comfortable with solving equations, percentage and ratios. And then the basic language that is used in mathematics, I would say, A is twice of B, A is 2 more than B, right? That things you have to be comfortable with and spend a lot of time over here. Even if you take 1 month in this basics, you will never have to come back and you can smoothly go ahead. But what goes wrong is generally you start with these 3 topics and you see that, okay, my friend has gone to profit and loss, maybe the application of percentages, and you feel that you don't lag behind. So you deliberately jump to the next topic, even you have not figured out the basics of percentage and ratio. And then you find all the topics difficult. So I would say, even if you take initially time, doesn't matter. Take 1 month or maybe 2 to build strong foundation. The rest will be easy to build on, right? And you will be also able to do that in quick time. But in the case you are skipping the foundations, then you will keep going to and fro, and you will feel mathematics is difficult. So focus on the basics for all the people who feel quant is hard for you.
My solution to this would be that if you're trying to learn math, that's where the problem is. That's why you feel it to be difficult or complicated to comprehend. The best way is to understand or ask yourselves or ask the teacher why. Why did this happen? The more you ask why, the more you bug and irritate Rahul Sir. He'll be able to give you a better solution that would stick in your mind. So instead of just remembering, okay, this is how I'm supposed to solve this question, and what CAT does is it would tweak one small detail there, and all your logic will fall off there. So the best way to do it is ask why. Like, why did this happen? Why can I not do something different thing?
We always say, sir, take the feel of the subject, take the feel of the concept. So if you don't have that feel, he's gonna play with you.
Exactly. Okay, I'll answer Atharv's question. First concept builder lecture is on day after tomorrow. That's Saturday. Rahul Sir will be taking equations on that particular day, followed by 27th, which is a Tuesday. I'll be taking linear arrangements, and then Gourav Sir will be taking for percentages, that is with respect to data interpretation, which will then be followed by Vikrant Sir for reading comprehension kickstart.
Just to take you guys back to that earlier question, since I have a selfish interest in that, is there any book or resource that you would like to recommend for somebody who's trying to build a foundation for quant? Anything other than NCRTs and our sessions, of course?
Absolutely. I've spent day in and day out, entire nights to build a one. Right in the last year itself, quantitative aptitude by myself and Vineet Kangriya sir. Otherwise, if you are looking for videos, then the foundations are already there, and we'll create for here as well. Right. The idea is, again, percentage and ratio are the two chapters where I have stressed a lot in the book as well. As Surana Sir was mentioning, that why. So that why has been answered over there, how to draw the flow charts from the basic lines. Even CAT is also about how well you understand the scenario which he has created in that particular question. So how well you can picturize things, right? Because it's not going to be on one formula, maybe a profit percentage or a loss percentage. There will be a picture the CAT will try to show you. Maybe X is taking something from Y and then selling it to Z, and then Z keeps half of it and sell the remaining to A. So if you cannot picturize it, you cannot apply 4 or 5 formulas in one scenario. You will be too late, right? And the other thing about the sessions, which Surana Sir has already mentioned, right, I'll be having day after tomorrow. I have kept around 5 to 6 questions in that. The first 3 are easy. You have to follow that. The next 2, 4th and 5th, deliberately kept a little harder, so that you just get to know that up to what level we are going. You're not able to do that, fine. Try to understand it, maybe 50 or 60% of it. That is very important in that upcoming lecture. I've taken one CAT 2025 question itself, so you get an idea that how the simplest things can be used or amalgamated with the aptitude and create, and how CAT can create a top-notch questions out of that.
Yeah, I'll take this up. Rishita, Vanakkam. When is my class? I think I've already told the planner. My class is on the 27th. I'll be taking a session every Tuesday from then on. Okay, I think we missed the question there. I don't know if it's a question or just letting us know. Andy Candy says he's got a call from SIBM Pune. So
congratulations.
Congratulations. Yes.
And we have an online GDPI badge going for all of you. So make sure that you're part of it and you benefit from that.
You can go to the PW app. It is absolutely free of cost. Just enroll in there and you will have the mentors helping you with the PI as well. So another question we have from Aditya, how to manage CAT and work experience?
That's a very good question. I think you have to be good at juggling to make sure that you... So the basic principle of juggling is that you don't lose focus on all the balls, but then you make sure that you prioritize your focus there, right? If you're looking at all the balls at once and then you miss out the timing on that, you drop them all. That's the thing that, people who are trying to do multiple things at once need to make sure that you have to have focus on all of them. But then at that moment, what's important, you need to know. For example, if let's say you have a report due tomorrow, or you have to, come up with a presentation at work or something, or you have a project at work that you have to finish, at that time, you can't prioritize your CAT preparation. Same way, when you have a fixed planner that today I'm supposed to give a mock test and analyze it, or let's say I have to attend this arrangements class, you have to make sure that you manage your time accordingly. You have to find time for both of it. It's like, having too many partners. In a business, I meant, having too many partners, you have to make sure that one doesn't find out about the other, and at the same time you find time for each of them. Otherwise, one of them is definitely going to leave you, so you have to make sure you do that.
What I used to advise to my
Very bad
GMAT
analogy.
students were
Yeah.
simple, that take it slow, right? That was an advice which generally worked, right? What happens is students generally start with a very aggressive timetable. Maybe they're doing the job for complete 9 to 10 hours and then traveling for 3 to 4 hours and then spending, 2 to 3 hours for CAT. And then what happens is after a week or 10 days, you drain out, right? Because the entire of your day has gone into some kind of work. Now, what I would say is you can initially start with CAT, and maybe very less hours you should devote to the CATs initially, so that you can at least stay consistent. I don't want you to drain out in 10 days and then leave it entirely. Maybe start with 1 hour in a day, right? Slowly, slowly, when you get used to it, your efficiency also increases. You start enjoying that, right? And once you start enjoying that process, then for you, it is not another task. You wish to go back home after the work and you enjoy studying for 2 to 3 years, right? So take your time till you start, feel it as a enjoyment stuff, or a thing you would do in the leisure as well, rather than taking it as a task. So take your time, go slow initially, slowly, slowly you'll build on.
And Rishank is our MBA Pioneer student, and he wonders whether he needs to go follow the batch or look at YouTube. Said, Rishank, your batch is your home. Make sure that you always prioritize that. We do bring in a lot of high impact sessions on YouTube. For you, they can be used or treated as additional practice for sure. But at no point of time would you prioritize YouTube sessions over whatever has been covered in the batch or whatever we have asked you to do in the batch after your class. So always prioritize those things. I see some more students here. So welcome to the Physics Wallah family. We are equally excited to work with you moving forward. That'd be so fabulous. Somebody asked us to reply to him a little while ago, Kaustav, but then I think the very first message where probably your question was sent through telepathy, and it may not have reached us. So please post that too, and then we'll see. Anything else?
We
So
have
we
a
have
question,
Aishwarya,
Aishwarya. Yes,
how
yes.
to
I
cover
was
them.
coming to the same question. So
Hmm.
Aishwarya has mentioned how to cover the quant topic. Why is all syllabus? See, one video I've already created on this very channel, MBA Wallah in English, complete plan for quant. You can watch that. But for now, I'll just give you a very simple answer. Focus on percentage, ratios, and equation solving. Once you get done with these three topics, it is totally up to you. If you enjoy algebra more, start with the algebra topics. Finish it off and then move to arithmetic topics. When I say arithmetic, it is profit loss, work rate time, distance time, speed, mixtures, allocation, the application of percentage ratio. In the case you like, let us say arithmetic more, then go with the arithmetic and then jump to algebra. Once you figure out these two modules, then only you jump to the other modules. And they can be in the order of geometry, then number system, and then modern math. Right? You'll get a detailed half-an-hour video on this very channel.
Then we have a question as, does quality of work experience matter? See, in some colleges, yes, it does matter directly. So for example, I am Bangalore, during its selection criteria, they give 5% marks to WorkX and another 5 to the quality of work experience. But at most of the colleges, there is no direct weightage given to the quality, although it is going to indirectly influence your performance in the interviews if and when they get into the questions based on work experience. So to that extent, yes, but it is not exactly a deal breaker, frankly. Okay, so not something that you should worry about. I think whatever work that you are in is fabulous. I've seen people who have worked only in BPOs where their job was very monotonous and repetitive, where they could not learn a lot. Even those people have made it to absolute top-notch colleges. So don't worry about that at all.
We have a
Okay,
repeat
I'll take
question, sir.
up.
How can I
Yeah,
manage study with corporate work? That has already been told.
yeah.
I'll just say, just rewind the video or go back for 5 minutes and you'll get a detailed answer on that. Yes,
Or
Surana.
use my strategy. Okay, I have a two-step plan: sit on the chair and study, and step two is sit on the chair again and study.
Okay,
Yes.
I think I'll take up Nalanda's question because he's
Okay.
continuously asking that. His score in 24 was 22 percentile, 25 was 12 percentile, 26, what should I do to get 99? Nalanda, the answer is right there. Don't do everything that you did in 24 and 25. That is, you've learned from your mistakes. You have an experience, not once, but twice, to understand what went right for you and what went wrong for you, more on the wrong side. So all you have to do is just make sure you don't repeat those mistakes in 2026 and try and figure out what went wrong in 24 and 25. Honestly, the scores are in sync with the difficulty level. 24 was easier than 25 and hence the drop, I'm assuming. But then find out what went wrong, where your concept's not strong. Did you answer too many questions without being confident about the answer? Did you lose out a lot of marks because of negative scores? That's something that you'll have to work on. Start from the core basics with the experience that you've gained from these 2 years. But again, assume that you are a newbie, right? Assume that this is the first time you're going to prepare for CAT. Keep that in mind and start right from the basics, because now the advantage that you have is time. You have enough time to start from the core concepts, then slowly build on the practice. But in the hindsight, remember what went wrong for you in 24, 25 and try to rectify those.
And then even otherwise, sir, I think 22 percentile, 12 percentile generally indicate that we haven't covered the syllabus yet.
Exactly.
So at least that should be the first step. Go ahead, do that. There is somebody who's shared his background and said what percentile would be enough to get a call. See, frankly, we can answer this on the basis of the previous data, but then imagine if I look at your profile and say that for you, 98 percentile will be good enough to get a call from this college. Now let's start calculating from here. When I say 98 percentile, what will you do? What will you do with this information? Will you go back home and say that, okay, 98 percentile would basically mean 400 hours of study. So I'll put in 400 hours of studies. Can you do that, right? You would have to go out and put in all the time, all the effort that you can in order to get the highest possible percentile that you can. So, I mean, theoretically, it is a nice question, but see, in terms of your preparation strategy, it is actually meaningless. So go all out, do your best every day and try to get as high a percentile. I'd say 100 percentile if you want to. Something along the similar lines is this profile, 877. Is that enough or not for Blackism colleges? Absolutely enough. Yeah. Yes, there now depending upon your graduation stream. For example, in Ahmedabad, that last 7 can cause an issue if you're an engineer. Okay, but then there are, if you are, let's say, somebody who's done BA History Honors, that 7 is going to be fabulous, should not really bother you much. But then are you in the hunt? Absolutely yes.
Another question is, 6 months internship is helpful or not for selection? See, the idea is, as Vikrant Sir has already said, now when we calculate the composite scores, then internship do not count, right? But of course, let us say you get a good score, your composite score was far enough to get a call, and once you go out there for the PI, then of course this work experience does help, right? They have the areas where they can talk about and you can make it count, right? So in the calculation of the composite score for the calling round, it does not, but yes, later on it definitely helps.
Data entry job is counted in WorkX? Absolutely yes. If it is after graduation, full-time and paid, it definitely does. Baki, sir, yes, Surana Sir started with that Excel sheet.
Yes, I was waiting for a question like this. Mukesh Meena, very good timing. So I have made, exactly, I have already made it for DILR. And Rahul Sir has followed. He's also made it for Quant. Now is a very good time for you to personally urge Vikrant Sir to make one for VARC as well.
Absolutely. See, I can be bribed very easily. So let us see what all offers I get. So try your best, guys.
We'll also wait, sir. We'll also try.
True. What else? Able to solve 50 to 60%. Okay, so quant question, sir, if you would like to take up. So
able to solve 50 to 60% of quant DDP questions, rest can understand, but it's absolutely fine if you're able to do 50 to 60% of the questions within the first month. Do you know that out of the 22 questions, if you would have got 10 right in CAT 2025, you were already a 99 percentile plus in quant section, right? So we also expect this only to happen with a student, and I would say you are on the upper end right now, because the rest of the questions also you are able to understand when you see the solution. That is what is important for me right now. With the time, you will see multiple scenarios, you will see multiple types of questions, you will learn multiple approaches, so you will have your bank full of these kind of stuffs, then you can easily reach to 70 to 80% of correct questions, and that 90% or 100% accuracy you're looking for will come very late, right? But that does not mean you are off track. You are absolutely on track. That is what which is expected from you. So you should be happy about those 50 to 60% you were able to make.
Oh, we've already started getting bribes, Vikrant Sir.
Two Dairy Milk Silk.
Name your
Dairy Milk
price.
Silk. This is bidding going
One
on.
I
Name
will
your
take away,
price.
one
Day.
Surana Sir will take away. Vikrant Sir will get nothing from this.
Let's see.
No, no, I don't eat sweets. So I'll probably sell it and get something else. But yeah.
If it comes when it comes to Surana Sir, you can probably start thinking of whey protein boxes or
Yes.
protein bars. Those kind of things. Okay.
He is fond of tea, although without sugar.
Atharv, I could not really get your question, but what you're basically saying is that I'm going to attempt 22 questions in VARC. I'm guessing if you're asking, will that be enough? Well, with 80% accuracy, that's going to be really good. With 90% accuracy, it's excellent. So
Correct.
you already, but then I know that you already know that. Worked with you for almost a year. So
Again, we have a similar question, sir. How many hours we should study? See whatever you can with efficiency, right? You just don't have to sit and keep the book ahead in front of you, or maybe the laptop in front of you, and think you're studying. The idea is, even if you study 1 hour, but it is very, very efficient in the beginning, that is okay for us, right? The hour should be such so that with the time you keep growing it, or at least sustain at that level. It should not happen that you start with 4 to 5 hours and then
true.
in the middle you're not even studying, right? And then it falls apart. So
Just to add to it, though, I'd suggest that you should target at least around 20 hours every week. That's a good number to hit at this juncture, and then we can go from there.
I
maybe even if
almost
it is little
panicked when
less.
Sir started with 20 hours. Thank you that you finished it off with every week, because every day 20 hours is something.
Yes, that is what I would say. Initially, 14 to 15 can also work. Depends upon you. Because see, you can be a
True.
person who's very, very efficient, right? Maybe you are a person who's 2 subjects or 2 areas, or maybe one area is already sorted. So you have to spend most of the time with one. For example, when I've seen, a lot of engineers, right? Maybe IITians, generally they have their quant sorted initially. They are more focused towards verbal. So in that case, even if you're able to give 10 hours to verbal and maybe just 2 hours to quant in the initial week, that is absolutely fine with me. Right. And similarly, you can work with the other subjects as well.
So just find out. What I would recommend is, don't have any constraints. Don't say that I will study only for 2 hours, because if you say 2 hours or 3 hours, because some days you might have the entire day with you. Sometimes you might not even find an hour in that particular day. So it all depends upon your personal planner, how you plan out a day. What I normally recommend people is, before the previous night, right, just understand, how your day is going to go, how busy you're going to be. Just fix a time duration then, that okay, tomorrow seems a little free, I might be able to give 4 hours for preparation. Tomorrow seems a little tight, I might not be able to give 2 hours, maybe 1.5 hours. So you just plan up the night before, a week in advance, very good, but sometimes things go in an unpredictable way. So the night before, just find out a good number that should be your minimum. Again, that should not be your upper limit. That's not your ceiling. That's your floor, right? You keep 4 hours. You have to give minimum of 4 hours. Don't end your preparation. Okay, 4 hours are clocked in, I just move out of it. Don't do that, because the more you keep constraints on your preparation, you become bound to that. Then giving anything extra feels like you are doing a favor to yourself. So don't do that. Keep a lower limit and then see how far you can go with that.
Accuracy से percentile पे फर्क पड़ता है क्या? And I think, Surana Sir, you should take this question.
Yeah. Rishita, see, accuracy, by accuracy, do you mean the number of questions that you've answered wrong? Will that affect? Of course, yes. How will it affect? If those are MCQ questions, you will have negative marking, right? So you lose out on the marks that you got by answering them correctly. The 3 marks that you get by answering correctly, you will start losing them out more you answer them wrongly. Theta questions, on the other hand, don't have any negative scores, so you can go crazy on it. Accuracy doesn't matter there, but where accuracy matters is MCQ. So you have to be very careful, very frugal while giving out your answers. Don't randomly keep giving A, B, C, D, because that's how you end up with negative scores. Yeah.
I guess in
Aditya.
Quant and LRDI, you only mark when you know the answer, right?
Yeah.
In verbal, people tend to have that kind of accuracy. We sometimes see 70 or 80% accuracy from the student's end, right? The option choices are very, very close sometimes,
Close.
right? But in Quant and LRDI, you already know before marking that whether you're marking it because you've got the answer right, or you have, just marked because you wish to mark that on that particular day. Very rarely there are some trap choices where you get the answer which is already there in the MCQ as well and which is wrong. So in Quant and LRDI, the simple advice and straightforward advice would be never work a MCQ until an answer you get the same answer.
Correct. At least have, like, unless and until you have at least 75% to 80% confidence on that
Correct.
answer choice, don't mark it. It's better to let it go than to take a wild guess there.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Very rare questions. Very rare questions now we see, sir, in that way, that the options are 10, then in the order of 1,000, and then the other of order of 1 lakh, right? They make the option choices very close. So nowadays it is very risky, this area, this time now.
Aditya has been posting this question for a very long time. Sir, I do not start book, only class and DPP. When should I start with the book?
See, once you get the time, right? Once you get the time and once you feel like that, okay, I still
Confident,
need some more practice in this particular topic. Let us say we have already done percentage and ratio in the Pioneer, all right? All the lectures of the topics have been completed. Now you have done the DPP. You feel that you're confident enough, go ahead and try the questions. If you feel that you need more practice, go ahead and try the questions. If you feel that, okay, still I have to cover some topics, the theory is not complete for me yet, then you will have to go back to the lectures first. The idea is take the lectures, finish the DPPs, make sure you are done with the first 20 questions of the DPPs, then you go to the level 1 of the book, because the last 10 questions of the DPPs are also a little difficult. So first 20 questions, then level 1 of the book, last 10 questions of the DPP, then level 2 of the book. That is how you master the topics. Now you have to master the basic foundations. That is percentage, ratio, and equations. In these three areas, when you finish these off, then you move to the application of percentages. You will be able to finish the topics even in just 1 or 2 days. Believe me, if you are done with the percentage, profit and loss, you can finish it off just in 2 to 3 days. And in case you have not done percentage as well, you will take a month and still you will be troubled with this P&L.
Hi Nalanda, for DILR, what I'd recommend is I've made a proper planner for you day by day, what you're supposed to do, handing tasks, and for you to maintain to track your own progress. So go check out that sheet. In that sheet, I've given in detail what you're supposed to do on which day. Try and follow that. I think that should be sufficient for you to get started, at least get the ball rolling. So one more question is with respect to time. I think I saw one that from Satyam, how to manage time while solving questions. If I go to solve it correctly, it gets, but takes a lot of time, which is not enough. Satyam, my suggestion would be, at this point in time, don't focus on the time at all, right? At this stage, don't look at the time at all. It's okay if you take, let's say, 5 minutes for a set, 10 minutes for a set, 40, 50 minutes for a set, let it go. At this stage for DILR, my suggestion would be to work on the accuracy, get it right, and then slowly we can talk about reducing the time, right? It's as simple as, you're learning to walk. When you learn to walk, you don't think about how do I reach to the other point quickly, because at that point, crawl is a better choice because you can't walk straight. But the idea is the right way to reach there is by walking, right? So that's the same thing here. Learn how to walk. It's okay if you're taking a little more while. It's okay if you're falling a couple of times, but then the better you make your concepts and the foundation and the basics strong, you will be able to answer those questions in a more efficient and in a quicker way. So at this stage, focus on accuracy, not on how much time you're spending on each question.
I guess same goes
we
for
have the similar
right
for quant as well. Yeah,
right.
And those of you are asking about what to do and how, we actually have dedicated videos that map the entire 12-month journey. You'd find them on this channel or a sister channel called MBA Wallah. They will help you immensely. You can definitely go through them to get a very detailed answer.
Umair, I have already answered the same question, how to start from maths. It's percentage, ratio, and equations. Follow those topics. And we are also bringing the equations, one of the three in the initial foundation series or a concept builder series on this very channel. You'll start getting the videos from day after tomorrow.
And how much RC should you do? Yeah, at this juncture, you should focus more on reading first up. So I'd say try to put in at least 25 minutes of reading that develops you, which is at an adequate level of challenge for you every day. Apart from that, start with 10 RC passages every week. And then depending upon your accuracy there and your concerns there, we can just go ahead and adjust it subsequently.
What's the better QA sheet has also been created. You can find it on my LinkedIn or Instagram. I've added the sheet, very similar fashion like Surana Sir's. And we are looking for the best bribe you can give to Vikrant Sir so that VARC can also be created.
Yeah.
And so far we have just got the best one to Silk. I guess Vikrant Sir is not.
That's a very low bar.
The bidding,
I admit it. I did say I can be easily bribed, but I'm not that easy. Okay, so
the bidding is still open, guys. I think you have time till tonight. Anyway, Atharva, I've seen your comment. I can't reply to that, but yeah, I'll give you the score of that on Telegram. So just reach out to me on Telegram. I'll tell you how many were right out of your answers. Yeah.
So I guess, guys, now all the areas, Quant, Verbal, LRDI, 1 year plan has already been created on this very channel, right? We have also covered a few IIM selection criteria. So I guess those answers you will get over there. Of course, the number of hours, the number of RCs, the number of questions, or maybe how much to study, right? All the things have been answered in the detail. Also, the right idea is to just start exploring today, right? We are in the very initial stage. You have to just see first what is VARC all about, Quant all about, and LRD all about. Right now, don't focus on time, and we'll start a fresh series day after tomorrow. And by that time, you can just leave on the comments, right, from where you are, right, or what you are, basically, you know, what profile you have, so that we can start creating the videos that can actually relate with you guys, right?
and you'd find the schedule in the YouTube community. Okay, you can refer to that and figure out what is going to happen when, and make sure that you do turn the notifications on so that you don't miss out on the sessions.
And Vikrant Sir definitely is going to see the comments after the class because he's looking for the best bribe yet, right? So you can leave the other queries as well in that.
Absolutely. Anything else? I mean, jokes apart, if there is anything else that you think you need help with, make sure that you drop it down below, and we definitely be with you every step of the way. Yeah.
All right, and then take care and good night.
Alrighty, everyone. Bye.